So there's a process from the first incident of bullying, could be verbal, could be a flick in the ear, could be tripping, to Rebecca Sedgwick jumping off of a clock tower. And we're going to go through this so we understand the touch points along the way. What we teach is based upon law enforcement, police. You're not going to learn martial arts. We're not going to make you into karate black belts. We're going to teach you how bullies think, how they operate, and how you can cut them off at the pass. My partner, Chris Sutton, was a Largo police officer for almost a decade, a Pinellas County sheriff, and, this is most important probably, a guard at a maximum security prison for juvenile offenders. That means up until age 17. He said these were the worst bullies he's ever witnessed. Every bullying situation has a storyline because he's got to write these reports out and go into detail. This is what happened, and that's happened. So what happens in these reports is there's all kinds of, again, critical points where the situation could go one way or the other. And they're common, they're predictable, and we're going to help you understand them today. Nobody has your anger button. The only person who ever makes you mad is yourself. There's nobody who has a remote control and says, okay, I'm going to flick your ear now. Now get mad. So the flicking of the ear is like pushing the mad button, isn't it? But what if you don't have a mad button on your emotional remote? What if you can control the beast? There has been a decay of respect. People are now depending on society and culture to help raise their children. And this is a society and culture you don't want your child to be influenced by at all. I think we would agree that people are getting less patient with each other rather than more patient with each other. How many times have you had a 3-second or a 5-second delay in traffic result in the person behind you honking their horn? So here's how I like to teach people to go through life. We all have a quiver of darts, stress darts. And I can pull that stress dart out and bang, hit you with it because you took more than 3 seconds to get going. So I've now transferred my lack of control of the beast, my weak emotional fitness, my inability to control my anger. I just shot a stress dart into you, which makes your day just a little more stressful, which sometimes means that you're going to turn right around and start throwing stress darts at other people. There's no upside to engaging. Let me say this again. Imagine Samantha was an adult male, bigger than me, saying this. There's no upside to me arguing with this guy or flicking him off or flicking somebody else who honked at me in traffic. There's never any upside to getting out of your car. There's no upside to running out and pushing a guy who is yelling at your family. Because as soon as he pushed, that thing went downhill immediately. That's a pool you just stay out of. You don't dive into that pool. If I ask my karate instructor, I'm walking out and there's 4 guys that are sitting on the hood of my car. Most instructors would say, what was the distance? Was he at punching distance? Was he at kicking distance? Could you spin him around and choke him? What a good instructor would say is, well, the first thing that's going to happen is that you're going to have an adrenal response. Your heart's going to start pumping. It's going to feel like you're walking in quicksand. Things could speed up or they could slow down. So the first thing you have to do is breathe. Gain control of your composure. Continue to breathe as you talk and work with these guys. So that realization that when you have a conversation like that, that first interaction, remember we talked about the spectrum, here it starts, you're going to have that fear. And it's okay. Everybody else has it as well. You get through it by breathing and relaxing your shoulders. So let's dive into what I think. Martial arts taught me that there's a technique for everything. If you want to learn how to be successful, you want to have good relationships, you want to, whatever it is, there are people that have done it before and you study what they do to try and get the same results. And the question was this: if everybody in the world was just like me, what kind of world would this be? If everyone in this family was just like me, what kind of family would this be? So it really helps you to walk your talk and reduce the amount of stress starts you're sending out because you don't want to receive stress starts. And that all really breaks down to the golden rule. The golden rule, of course, biblical. Treat people like you would like them to treat you. That's a great technique, and it works wonderfully with bullies. One great technique is to feed it back to them. Notice with Samantha, she said, "Oh, you're so fat you couldn't fit through the door." Samantha, why would you say I'm so fat I couldn't fit through the door? When I say her name, it personalizes it. When I feed it back, in other words, I repeat it back to the person, it gives me time to think. And what happens, kids in particular, when that person says that to you initially, your heart's going to be doing this. You're going to feel blood going through your body. That's called fight or flight response. It happens to everybody. Tongue fu. I want you to pick on me. So you could say, you're fat and bald and ugly. All right, so you're the bully, and I'm just standing here. Whenever you're ready. You're what? And you're so skinny, I bet you could go under the door. You say that to me, say it again. Say it again. Okay, all right, change this around. Did I give you something to work with? So I yelled at you and you yelled back, right? Let's do it again. Samantha, do you really believe that? I've been running, I'm trying. Wow, you're in really good shape. What do you do to stay in shape? First, respond with the person's name. You get an insult, Samantha, that immediately makes it personal. So it's an impersonal encounter. When you say the name, if you know it, immediately respond with the name. Rather than argue with them, agree with them. Because guess what? This is the first decision point of how this is going to go. If I yell back and we go back and forth at each other, that is escalating the situation. In other words, it's making it worse. If I like myself and I'm comfortable with myself and I know this is just a bully, Teflon ego just slides right off. I give it no credence. I give it no weight. So I'll just have a conversation with the person. I have done this for a gazillion seminars and it works every time. My anti-bully book, Anti-Bully Manual, it is over 200 pages of what I'm talking about today. It's rock solid. And you can download it. And in there are a lot of verbal judo techniques and exchanges you can practice with your kids. So if you're driving in the car, you both break out the verbal judo, and it's basically insult, how to respond to that insult. And you just role play it. You go back and forth until it becomes natural, and you start to understand that when somebody insults you, that's their baggage, not mine. So somebody that does not have good emotional fitness and has had, they're mean, they're just rotten people, they want to throw some of that baggage on you. They want to hit you with those stress darts. We don't let them. We just let it slide right off because we understand there will always be jerks and idiots in the world. So what we suggest is that every year, right before the school year starts, you have a family meeting. Everybody comes to the kitchen table. And you outline your expectations for the coming school year. And you also outline and make clear your family's values. What is a values? Here's what I talk to my kids about a lot, because they're getting in the dating age. They're reaching the dating age. And their friends. I talked about their friends. Is that person honest? Does he steal? You think if he found somebody's wallet, would he try and get it back to that person? Is he respectful to adults? Those are key questions. I want to make it clear that our family values honesty. We tell the truth. We go to church on Sundays. Every Sunday we're going to go to church. We believe in Jesus Christ until you're an adult and you can make that decision yourself. You show up on time. If you say you're going to be there at 1, be there at least by 1, hopefully early. Whether you say it or we say it, you be there on time. It's rude not to be there on time. We expect you to have A's or B's this year in school. If you can't do it, we are here to help. We can't wait to help you. Some classes are just really hard. Some are easier. So we're going to help you. But our standard, because you're a Graden or whatever your family is A's and B's. We have high standards we want you to raise to. So here's an example from the book. So what we suggest is that every year, right before the school year starts, you have a family meeting. Everybody comes to the kitchen table, and you outline your expectations for the coming school year. And you also outline and make clear your family's values. What is a values? Here's what I talk to my kids about a lot, because they're getting in the dating age. They're reaching the dating age. And their friends. I talked about their friends. Is that person honest? Does he steal? You think if he found somebody's wallet, would he try and get it back to that person? Is he respectful to adults? Those are key questions. I want to make it clear that our family values honesty. We tell the truth. We go to church on Sundays. Every Sunday we're going to go to church. We believe in Jesus Christ until you're an adult and you can make that decision yourself. You show up on time. If you say you're going to be there at 1, be there at least by 1, hopefully early. Whether you say it or we say it, you be there on time. It's rude not to be there on time. We expect you to have A's or B's this year in school. If you can't do it, we are here to help. We can't wait to help you. Some classes are just really hard. Some are easier. So we're going to help you. But our standard, because you're a Graden or whatever your family is A's and B's. We have high standards we want you to raise to. We have a green light policy. The green light means this. No matter what happens, you can come and talk to us without getting into trouble. So we're, again, family, we always back each other up. So if something happens or you get involved in a situation or something's confusing you, you have the green light to come and talk to us. We all share one social media account and one password only for the entire family. Your computers will be out in the living room where everyone can see them. And guess what? Just to be clear, they're not your computers until you buy it yourself and pay for the plan. That's my computer, and I will take it away from you in a heartbeat if I see you visiting any sites that we've discussed we don't want to be visiting. And also, parents, there are so many apps that are designed to hide stuff from you. They look like calculators on the phone, but the kids know if they punch in a certain code, it takes them into the dark web, the dark side. On the website that you see on there's a lot of videos and things that relay this, and also a list of those kind of apps. Do you remember Katrina? The Hurricane Katrina? And everybody had to go to the Superdome football stadium, 50,000 people under one roof in the worst conditions possible. The bullies took over. They took over the bathrooms. You had to pay them or perform certain favors to get to the bathroom. So in that stadium, you had people that were really good-hearted people, probably walking around helping others, to the worst psychopathic thugs possible who don't care if you die. They will throw you off. Doesn't matter to them. When you let your children into the world of social media, you're taking them into the Superdome during Katrina. There are nice people on the web, and there are some really rotten people. And according to my partner, who has dealt with sexual predators of all makes and sizes and backgrounds, they're just like everybody else. You would never know. But on their mind 24/7 is how to kidnap your child, how to get your child. And we're going to talk about that a lot more in part 2.